Nice to see you! My hair was really hard to style today because I tried this new volume boost shampoo. And now I think it almost looks as fluffy as my dear cat Tiger Lily in winter. I couldn't really decide today which color of nail polish I wanted to wear. But I thought, why should I restrict myself to only one color? I don't have to! The video you'll get today was highly requested. Yeah, now I sound like a real YouTuber. It was so highly requested. You asked for it, guys, and now it is given. Differences between Helsinki and LA, part 2. First of all, let's start with this. Let's talk about the thickness of the walls in Helsinki and the walls in LA. In Helsinki, the walls are really thick. And they are made of stone, of bricks. And that is very good, because in Helsinki it gets really cold in winter. It can be -30 in winter. Another big advantage of the thick walls in Helsinki is that you don't hear the neighbors. Not as much, at least. It depends if you turn up heavy metal really to the max, you know, then you will hear them, but... or they would hear me. Do you hear that? That is because in LA, can you hear that, guys? Every word, right? Oh, no, no, no. Always when I'm filming, can you hear that? That's my neighbor, guys. I love her, but it's always super loud when I'm filming. And they also have the TV running, so you have like 6 different voices from across the wall. Can you hear that, guys? Do you hear that? That's how thin the walls are. Vitu. In LA, the walls are thin, that thin, and they are made of wood. And that means they are almost like paper, and you can hear everything. Can you hear that? Can you hear my neighbor right now? She has a visitor. Can you hear that, what they are talking about? Yeah, that's what the walls are like in LA. And I guess we're gonna have to live with this until the end of this video. Thank you, LA. With these paper-thin walls, it's a bit like being in summer camp, you know? No matter how silent it is, you can always hear the conversations of the others because the walls of the tents are so thin. I really feel like in a tent right now. Vito! I hope you don't hear voices too. Let me know if you do in the comments. Let me know if you can hear what they're talking about. I just want to know. No, it's not that I can't hear it myself. I just want to know if it's loud enough for you to hear too. Maybe they heard that, I'm not sure. Oh, I hope they're gonna talk about something really interesting. Then we can sit here and make a commentary video, maybe. Let's see. No, but I love my neighbor. She's really sweet and she has a really cute cat. Let's stay on the topic of apartments and houses and housing, shall we? In Helsinki, in Finland, we have beautiful wooden floors. It's really hardwood floors or laminate. It's really cool because when you walk through the snow in winter and you get back home, no matter how fast you take off your shoes, there's always a little bit of this snow slush in the apartment. But no problem, because we have wooden floors. We have laminate, you can easily clean it. Yeah, here in the US, guess what we have? Carpet. Everywhere carpet, and mostly really ugly carpets. Look! And you know what happens when you have carpets? If you don't take off your shoes immediately outside the doorstep, it will look like this. And guess what? That was one of the stupid technicians of my internet provider. Thank you very much. Look! I think that's oil or something. I think I will never ever get that out of this stupid carpet again. If you say, yeah, but I like carpets. In Finland we have carpets too. But these are these little ones, these handmade ones that we put there, and then we can walk on them and sit on them. And when they get dirty, we put them in the washing machine and wash them, and they are clean again. Yeah, good that that isn't the competition today, because this would have been a point for Helsinki. I really miss my wooden floors. Aww. And the next one's really a big one for me. Restroom versus toilet. You know, in Finland, we tend to call things what they are. So we call our bathrooms bathrooms. or toilet, because there's a toilet in there. In the US, not only in LA, in the US, a bathroom is a restroom. Why? I mean, when I go in there, I'm certainly not gonna rest. And if you try to rest in there, they'll kick you out. I have witnessed that. This is so confusing. And now I found this. Bathroom tissues. I honestly, I really don't know what to do with that. We don't really have bathrooms in the US. We only have restrooms here. Maybe I could just put a red ribbon around it and send it to my friends in Finland. They could use it because they have bathrooms over there. Or toilets. We also call this just toilet paper. Okay. The next one is a similar one. Facial tissues. Yeah, I mean, this is empty now, but you just have to take my word for it that there were tissues in there. And these kind of tissues are called facial tissues in the US. They also come in other boxes. Here, maybe you remember this from my Christmas video. Then you know that there were tissues in there, and you know also why they are empty now. Premium quality facial tissues. In the beginning, when I just had moved here, I thought these facial tissues... Oh, sorry. Did you get wet? Do you need a facial tissue? In the beginning, when I moved here, I really thought these facial tissues are some kind of tissues that are intended for makeup removal, really for the face. And then I found these facial tissues. This is the same that we call nose tissue in Finland. That is for cleaning your nose. But the Americans call it facial tissues. Sounds probably much more fancy than like all of the slime and yeah, you know. In Finland, as I said, we tend to call things what they are. In Finland, we call this here nenälinna, and it translates into nose tissue. What means that's what we do with those. But here in the US, the same thing is called facial tissue. Facial tissue. To me, facial tissue sounds much more like a term from an autopsy report. Like the victim was shot in the head and we found some facial tissue on the wall. Sorry, that was dark. Actually, here in the US, it would be much more dangerous if someone in the apartment next to you gets shot. Because the walls are so thin that the bullet will go right through and kill you too. I mean, if someone would shoot me right now, then probably one of my neighbors would die too. Then it would be probably much more silent. Yeah, everything has its up and downside, right? No, I'm sorry, I love my neighbors. I would just wish that they wouldn't talk that loud and that the walls would be as thick as in Finland. Vittu! I just got something for our next difference on the list. Bed cover versus comforter. Look, this here. What you put on your bed to sleep underneath so that you will not freeze to death in the night. In Finland, and I think in Europe in general, we call it bed cover. Bed cover. In the US, it is called comforter. But I like comforter because it sounds so comforting. That was the part that I like. But there's another part about beds in the US that I don't like. Wait, I have to get something again. Yeah, as I said, the next thing about beds in the US I don't like. And that is this. Whoops. Yeah, I just showed you the comforter or the bed cover. And now let's talk about what we do with the bed cover in the US and in Finland. In Finland, we have these. Look, we put the comforter inside these. You know, that is like for everyone in the US, that is like a giant pillowcase. Here, look. You can reach all the way inside. It's like a giant pillowcase, but for the comforter. You might remember this from my old Finnish videos. Angry birds, look, oh. Can you see that? Oh, And it's pink. And I love it. But you know what they're doing in the US? What they do to the comforters in the US? They don't have a case for those. No. They have this. This is more like a bed sheet. Look, this is not like a case. This is just one layer. And it sucks, especially if it's this kind of material. I mean, I like it. It looks good and it was shiny. That's why I bought it. But look, you put basically this on you and then you put the cover, the comforter on it. This here, this thing. However, I don't even know how to call it here. The comforter sheet, I don't know. This here, this is supposed to be between you and the comforter. And it never stays there. I hate it. Then I got another one because this here is so slippery. Yeah, then I got another one. This is cotton. But this is not better because it also doesn't stay in place. It never fucking stays in place. Maybe you're asking now, Katie, if you have this beautiful Finnish comforter case, why don't you put your comforter in there? I can tell you why. Because the measurements for these and these are different in Europe and in the US. I think I should put it in and just show you what it looks like, yeah? Let me try, let me give it a try. Yeah, look, I'm out of practice now because I couldn't use it, so. First of all, you have to turn it to the other side. There's this trick, you know. Now you go inside. You have to first turn it outside in. I mean, I'm saying that now for the American viewers. You have to turn this case here outside in, and then you reach here in the corners. And then you grab the corner of the comforter and the other one. And then you pull it over and put it in. Yeah. And then, yeah, then it looks like this, you know, like this. Because they have different measurements in Finland and in the US. Yeah, look, this, yeah. This is honestly not very comforting. I just got an idea. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this here, and I'm gonna sew them together so that they are gonna be a comforter, pillow comforter case, whatever. Yeah, problem solved, I guess. And now let's talk about taxes, about sales taxes. Let's talk about price tags and taxes. If I go to the supermarket in Helsinki and I want to buy a package of strawberries, I look at the price tag and the price tag says €6. And when I take this package of strawberries and I go to pay for it, I'll pay €6. When I go to the supermarket in LA and I want to buy a package of strawberries and the price tag says $6, I take it, I go to the cash register and I pay more than $6 because they are adding the taxes on it when I pay afterwards. Or when you go into a restaurant here in the US and you order something and on the menu it reads that it costs $8 and then you eat it and then you get the check and suddenly it says $9.30. That's because they add the sales taxes afterwards. And sometimes they even add their tips on it, on the bill. It's also what they do here in the US. What I wanted to say is when you go into a supermarket in Finland, in Germany, in whole Europe, the prices that you see include all kind of taxes and fees already. That's the final prices. That's what you're gonna pay. So in Europe, the prices you see on the price tags are the final prices. In the US, they aren't because the sales taxes are added afterwards on top of that. That was so confusing for me in the beginning, but I understand now why. Because I asked my American friends. And they said that's because every state in the US has different regulations about how high the sales taxes are. So, for example, the sales taxes here in California are much higher than in Michigan. So let's say the strawberries or the blueberry tea that I love are delivered to the same supermarkets in Michigan and in California. And so they have the same price tag on it. But when you pay, you better pay in Michigan because there the sales taxes that I added will be much lower. And here in California, we are screwed because California is the state with the highest sales taxes, as far as I know. Yeah, so you better go to buy your strawberries in Michigan, if you can. Another difference between LA and Helsinki that I noticed is eating out versus cooking at home. Of course, in Finland, we also like to go to restaurants every now and then. But in Finland, for me and my friends, and for a lot of people that I know, it's a big thing and like a nice thing to cook at home. Cook together with friends or cook something nice homemade for yourself. And I think a lot of people in Europe overall enjoy cooking at home. For them, it's normal to most of the time cook at home and eat at home. If you watched my videos, you know that I love to cook with my friends. You can correct me on that, but I have the feeling that here in LA and also all over the US in general, people prefer eating out over cooking themselves at home. People love to go to restaurants. Oh, sorry, to drive to restaurants. And that's also what a lot of people told me, because I noticed also that my kitchen here is much, much smaller than my beautiful big kitchen in Helsinki. And overall, the kitchens of my friends that I've seen are much smaller than the big European kitchens that I know. Honestly, the streets are much wider and the parking spots are much wider. Everything's much bigger, but the kitchens are smaller in the US. Oh, maybe that's the reason why people like to get into their cars that are parked in big parking spots and then drive on the wide streets to restaurants to eat out. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people I met here told me that Americans overall prefer to eat out. But remember, if you eat out, on everything that you eat, there will be sales taxes added when you pay afterwards. Don't forget that. Another difference that I think is kind of funny is the way advertisement is done here. I mean, normal advertising versus comparative advertising. You know, in Finland and in Europe in general, we do normal advertising. We say just, wow, this product is really good, you should buy it. And it is forbidden to do comparative advertising. Here in the US, comparative advertising is allowed. And that means, look, our product is really good, but the product of this brand and this brand and this brand is really shitty. So you better buy our product. Yeah, that's comparative advertising. Okay, so in Finland, a commercial for a hair shampoo would look like this. Look, our shampoo is really good. It will make your hair soft and silky, and it will give it extra volume, and it smells really good. In the US, the same shampoo commercial would look like this. Look, our shampoo is really good. It will make your hair much softer and much silkier than the shampoo of this brand. And you know, it will give your hair much more volume than the shampoo of that brand. And it smells so much better than the shampoo of this other brand. And sometimes they would even take the bottle of the other brand's hair shampoo and do this like. Yeah, no, I've seen something like that. Another thing that's very interesting also in this context is censorship on TV in the US and in Finland. After seeing commercials like this, it really comes as a surprise that on US television, a lot of things are censored. If someone says on US television, you will just hear beep. Or if someone says butt, it's gonna be beep. I think they even censor it if someone just says shit, beep. But in Finland, there's almost no censorship on television. And I love that. That's why I wanted to do comedy on Finnish TV, because there's no censorship. You can say and do whatever you want. In Finland, no one will censor it when you say f***. Vittu is said all the time on Finnish television. And in Finland, you can even talk about butt sex on a sitcom. They did that on my favorite sitcom. It's called Passila. You should check it out. It's amazing. It looks a bit like South Park. It's animated, but the humor is a bit more like The Simpsons, or just like Passila. Amazing. Social critical and really in your face. I love it. Passila. You should check it out. Oh yeah, I think there's even, there's an English dubbing, an English voiceover version of Passila. I think it is called, it had two titles. The one title was The Police Station, and the other one is Jefferson Anderson. But honestly, if you really want to enjoy Passila, you should better watch the Finnish version with English subtitles, because the Finnish voices are just so cool. Because the Finnish voice actors are just so cool. No, I left Pasila. I learned Finnish with that. Yeah, that's why I'm saying vittu so often. And now let's get to the last difference between Finland and the US for this video. In Finland, it is pretty hard to sue people for something. And if you sue them, you would probably not get as much out of it. I don't really know that firsthand because I never sued anyone in Finland. Because in Finland, it's mostly not really necessary to sue anyone. But here in the US, you can basically sue anyone for anything. I guess you know that if you look up all these crazy court cases. I think recently there was even a case where someone tried to break into a home and then he fell over the fence and hurt himself, and then the burglar sued the owner of the house, the guy that he tried to rob, because he got hurt on his fence while trying to break into his home. And I think he even got some money out of it. Welcome to the US! I really, really hope that no one's gonna sue me for this video. Yeah, please, if you're watching this, don't sue me. Yeah, guys, I hope you had fun with this. And please let me know in the comments, what do you think about the differences I presented to you today? Do you think they are valid? Can you think of any other differences that I didn't mention in this video? Please let me know in the comments below. I'm really excited to read your comments. And you know, guys, never stop dreaming!